Hi there guys, how's it going? Reaper here. Today we're in Fallout 4 and today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to do a let's build, shall we say. So I'm here at the castle and I've already recorded all the video for this. Right the way up. I'm at the point where I'm decorating this settlement now. So what I've done is I've broken them down in like our little chunks. And I didn't, because I recorded them on the night time while everyone was asleep, I didn't talk over them while I was actually making the settlement. So what I've done is I've put all the videos as I was recording it, I've put them together in little sections. My son is also here with me while I'm having a talk with you today while we're looking back over this video. And yeah, I'm just going to see the style in which way I build. I kind of throw things at the settlement. I start off in one place and just start going. With this one I did have a idea in mind which isn't usual for me. Usually I'll just try and start strapping things, barnacling onto things, and then from there see how I want the flow of the settlement to work, and I'll keep going like that. But I do tend to build quite fast because my time's quite limited. I only tend to play once my little ones and my partner's actually gone to bed, gone to sleep. So what I'll do is I'll then sit with the TV on really low. It means I can't talk over the top of things, and also because I'm waiting to get on to do something, I have all these ideas through the day of what I want to do, and well, in this settlement I could try to do this, and I have no idea whether it's going to work until obviously I get on. Like, until you get on, you start using the game, you try and see how things are going to get put together. So then I start throwing things up and all these ideas, and I can't contain myself, and I just start throwing things at the screen. So if I do start moving around a little bit fast, I'm sorry, that's just the way I build. Now I remember when I first started doing this on the castle build, I never knew anything snapped to them, and I don't know whether it's part of one of the mods that I've got up, but I've never noticed that they snapped to them existing boards on the floor. Never noticed it before. Always struggled with trying to put it in, and for some reason on this playthrough it just worked, shall we say. So yeah, I was a bit shocked. So that's where I started off from. Now the idea for me in this settlement was I had watched Sardeliak in his castle build, and actually back when I was watching the builds and I wasn't putting anything up on YouTube, but I was watching his, and someone commented on one of his castle builds. They actually said, oh, we're running short on builders are dropping out, going to other games and things like that. And I was still enjoying building within the world of Fallout 4. I had been over to Fallout 76, and he had been over to Fallout 76. The building in there was very limited. Obviously I couldn't express myself as much as what I wanted to do on Fallout 76 as I can on Fallout 4. Obviously we have had all the madness that's going on over at Bethesda recently, but I'm not going to get into that. We're here to look at the build. So at first, I start, we get a little box, little structure, and a lot of people try and stay away from the box structures, but I find if you have multiple box structures all piled up around each other, they're all pointing different directions, you can make a different looking place that actually looks like it's going off in different directions, or it's got walls that are unique and things like that. And you can create that by using the snapping. Now I didn't have again, I only found Sa a few months ago, and watching one of his tips and tricks videos, I noticed that you could use the stairs as the pillar glitch. Now I'd never had the pillar glitch. I'd never had the DLCs, so even with the USO mod I didn't get the pillars, the concrete pillars, or only the concrete pieces. So I was unable to actually drop anything into the ground, and once watching Shar's video I felt like a fool. You've watched Shar's video and you realise, hold on a minute, you can actually use the stairs for this. Of course the stairs do exactly the same thing, but at the time I just didn't think about it at all. Now I've got that, you'll see later on in the videos that I do start to use that. Most of my building I use the snapping, I use the foundation and work up from that. At first, like now, I go quite slow, and I'll trying to suss out how I want to start off, because as long as you get that starting off point, then I can just go wild after that. But it's coming up with that initial thing that I'm going to start building up from. Now my idea for the castle that we're watching now was that I wanted to start from the centre. Obviously we've got this structure in the middle here with the radio tower. I wanted to take that and I wanted to expand upwards from that and outwards to the side, kind of like what you'd see up the side of a hill, or a settlement, like for instance a shanty town that would that maybe you see in Brazil, where they're built up the side of the mountain, and they've got the raw bit that you can see all the shacks going up in levels. So that was my initial idea. Obviously I had no idea how I was going to execute it, how I was going to put it on the thing, but I want the top of the settlement to end up on the top of the castle walls. Now at first I did think about not rebuilding them castle walls, not putting them back to how they were, even though in USO you do have the concrete pieces that can do that. They look like the castle walls, they're the same pattern on them, so you can put them down, and I wasn't thinking of doing that. I was thinking, no, this time I'm going to have the shanty town go up that sort of bit there. However, I found that the sinking into the concrete, which you can see now over on the left hand side behind that generator, that was I couldn't sink anything into it. I was having real problems sinking into it, and I think it might have had something to do with my SDC mod, my Scrap That Settlement mod, not allowing me to drop anything in the ground. I had a lot of problems over at Hangman's, and the common idea is that that was the problem. You might have been able to hear my dog downstairs. She's barking away. I mean, it's bonfire night, nearly. Not quite bonfire night, but we're getting towards it. So around my area, people think that bonfire night means the 2 months prior and the 2 months after all completely bonfire work nights. So they're just fireworks constantly, just randomly set off all over the place. Either that or the little kids are being idiots and they've managed to get their hands on some and they're just randomly setting them off. Which wouldn't be unheard of, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm still looking at this centre little build here, and I'm trying to put on the different walls, try and make it. And I'm thinking what am I going to do, and I want to obviously go up on the top of this. I don't want to this one to be quite a few stories high, so the strength within the bottom structure doesn't need to be too much. So again, I'm still moving quite slowly really to how I build. I'm looking around, I'm seeing where I want to go next. Once I start getting into the flow of things, that's when I start going a lot faster. I mean, with this series here, I'm going to try and talk over a lot of them, but obviously this video's here 59 minutes and 50 seconds long, and I've got to chat nonsense for 59 minutes and 50 seconds, which isn't unheard of for me, I'll be honest with you. But I'm already trying to think of things that I'm supposed to be saying. So here again, once I'd done the bottom of the other one and I saw that that piece had snapped to the bottom, I was like, hold on a minute, that snapped to the bottom of there. Well, a roof snapped to the top of this, and lo and behold, it did. So I was like, oh, okay, well, what's the structure like going to be on this wall? And I have a little look, and I think to myself, right, okay, what's this going to be? I tell you what, we've got the workshop there. We'll make it into a workshop, make it quite big. We'll get all the benches in there, so it's like a central area for the settlement. They can all come here. They can all work on their power armor, or they could work on their weapons and their armor, or whatever they want. They can work on that inside here. So I start building out a little structure, how big I want it to be. I'll do that a lot. By say, for instance, my Spectacle Island build, I thought originally I was going to do a single player home over there, and I went and I had a little look around Spectacle Island. It was never going to be for SAR's challenge, and then I'm sat there and I'm thinking, right, what can I do? And I said, you know what, I haven't built out on the water on this. I always focus on trying to do a big settlement. I mean, it's a huge build area over a Spectacle Island. It's massive. You couldn't physically fill all the area. I've tried. I actually tried to do a tour of it last night. And I'm walking around, and I felt like I was repeating myself, because I was like, well, here's another farmhouse. Here's another farmhouse with the farm. Here's another guard tower. And I felt like I was repeating myself all the time, so I got a bit bored of what I was talking about. So I was just talking utter nonsense all the time. Which, again, isn't unheard of. So, I I tend to do that all the time. So, I forgot completely what I was talking about because I've gone off on a complete tangent. So let's get back to it. Here again, I'm just looking. I know on the top of that one, that's on top of the guard, on top of the radio tower, I want to build up onto the top of that, and I've already put the floor pieces on the top of the roof, which will allow me to snap to, because I've used obviously the roof and floor combo piece that you get within the floor tab. And I'm trying to think, well, how am I going to put a section up here? I don't want it to be dead high, so I don't want a house up here. I don't mind if there's a little roof on it or something like that, but what would I do with this area? Maybe I'll put a little guard post up there, or maybe it'll just be a bridge to get over to the other side. And I would like to have bridges going along the paths. I'm going to keep the paths that are moving around, the natural paths that are already within the settlement of the castle. In Sar's video of the castle, he built around them as well, and it was one of the things that gave me this idea of what I could do. So that being said, I'm looking, how can I get a piece that looks alright but it leaves a doorway in on the side and it comes over an extra square. So I'm putting in the little squares on the top and I'm trying to snap this to the top of it, but it just would not go into the right place. And then I'm thinking, look, and we'll get there in a minute, and once I start thinking, right, well, if I put this here and I build that out, can I then put this on the top? And through it all, I'm trying, and nothing seems to be snapping in place. And I realise now it's because of that door piece down at the bottom. It's a bit of a pain. It doesn't want to allow that, so it may allow the big floor on the top. But then as I put the big top floor on the top, I'm just going to go now and I was going to go and have a little sit down and have a wait. I'm not doing this in survival because on this playthrough I've been doing the PT2 and the PT3 playthroughs, and I've been showing you my old settlements from over a year ago. There's been quite a lot of them going out recently. I've been trying to keep a video going up every day, you know. So, and some of my older builds are alright, and some of my older builds are a little bit mental. But either way, we go back, we have a little look at them, and have a little bit of a laugh or get some ideas from them. And that was the whole idea for them, that series. And it also gave me time to build. Now, I didn't want to take that time not building. The time that I'd bought myself, say 30 days with them, with all them, if I released one a day. So I thought to myself, right, well, what I'll do is I'll do a playthrough. I'll use mods to get all my materials. I use mods to get all the fast travel points up on the map as soon as I come out. And I just went to the settlements, unlocked the settlements, and then I can just focus on building. So I've done a Finch farm. I've already released my I've done a Taffington, and I've already released my Hangman's Alley for this playthrough. Now again, it was very built up the sides, and I've tried to kind of like, so you like walking through a bit of a shanty town there as well, and I was really happy with that build. Looking at this one now though, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy with it, but it's huge. It's a big settlement, this one at the end, and although I'm not quite suffering lag yet, it feels like it's there. Do you know what I mean? Like if I flick around too fast within the build menu, the process of getting from highlighting each object is getting slower. So I think that it's going to start, and I haven't junk decorated it yet. Now most of the decoration in the way of sofas, beds and cabinets and all that sort of stuff, they're already all down. There's a couple of different things. There's one corner that I haven't quite done anything in, but what I've tried to do is I've tried to do all the build bang all the way through. So all you'll get through the first, say, 4 videos, the first 4 hours of me building was more the actual structures, throwing things down, seeing if they fit, getting things in here, there and everywhere, clicking off everything, building up an area, building walkways and platforms and things like that. Then we move into the 5th hour. The 5th hour is I'm still doing a little bit of building but it's while I'm decorating. So I'm decorating stuff, and when I'm decorating them things, I'm seeing other things I want to put in that are out of the build menu. Say for instance, I might want to drop a junk fence in to trim something up, because what I'll do is, if you see, a lot of the stuff is I don't sink anything in the floor. I'm not used to. I don't reach for the stairs to do the pillar glitch as much as maybe I could. How I've always done it, because I didn't have the pillar glitch, I've kind of taught myself that what I'll do is I'll ply everything down, and the areas that look like they're floating, I'll use the grass and the natural things to cover up the gaps. But obviously they can only be very, very minor, small gaps, and I can't cover everything up. Now here I'm trying to get these stairs in, and I can't. And I could, yes, I could use the glitch and I could get that pulled over, or I could even, it's probably the right height, I could even use a ashtray to bring that over. But I don't think of that. I'm thinking, what can I do to get it to snap? I need it to snap, I need it to snap. And what the problem is, which I'll soon find out, is that little wall. Now I spend ages faffing around with this, and it isn't usually something I do, but this other wall that I've got there, I think that one underneath is stopping it, but it's not. It's that thick wall piece over on the other side that won't. There you go. I move it out there now, and this will jump back in, and that's in a minute. There we go. So that was what the problem was. That wall, for some reason, it's not even the other walls that I like it. So what I do now is I drop in. I'll take that out. I drop in a different. No, I don't. I'm persisting with this one. The reason I'm persisting with that one is because it's got the flat top, and I knew I wanted to build a bridge to whatever I build on top of the workshop area over on that side. So I'm persisting with that top and hoping that it'll go over. So I keep trying, never give up. Does slow down a lot at the beginning of this video. This little once we start getting in, once I get this over there, I start getting into the floor things. Now when I move on to the right hand side, this is where Sar had his marketplace. I don't do a marketplace there. I'll do a little built up area there. I built, because what I do is I do my recording in, say, 10, 15, 20 minute blocks. I just hit the record button over on my PlayStation. You have a little share button at the top, and I press that to get it to record, and then I'll go into my editor and I'll put them all together. But my editor will only allow me to do 60-minute recordings at a time. So, but anyway, regardless of that, you'll see these stairs now will quite easily just drop in, and they go straight through that roof, and that roof sticks through the stairs. So it makes no sense to me why the other ones wouldn't work, but that works. It's alright. The people do start moving up and down it. You'll see that later on. I think, I can't remember, put a little guard station up there, and they have no problem going up there. So what we've got is the other side where I've put the sofa for me to do my waiting and that. I built that area, and I got over the front door. My PlayStation crashed and I hadn't recorded for about half an hour, and I hadn't saved the game either, so I didn't have that actual section, so I had to rebuild that section. So when I rebuild that section there, that's my second time of doing it, but it's not the same. Because I build so fast, and I just throw things down, I don't really keep track of where I've put things. I just tend to place them and move on. Move on, and then if there's any gaps or any floating bits or anything like that, I'll cover them with cinder blocks, or with wire fencing, or with whatever I need to cover that particular problem to stop it floating. Maybe I'll put some crates down or boxes. I know them holes are behind there, but I tell you what, my memory ain't good enough to remember, not for that long anyway. So I just forget about them, and next time I'm walking through, I see, oh yeah, nothing looks floaty to me. And that kind of makes it a little bit quicker for me, because I'm not worrying about dropping and lowering things into the floor, which, like I say, that was a way in which I got over using that, not having the pillar glitch. I couldn't drop things into the floor, sink them, make them look less floaty. So by covering up the gaps and make them less floaty. That makes them less floaty. Sorry, I'm just talking a bit of nonsense. My partner just showed me a baby grow from my son, and it must be from when he was just born, because it's absolutely tiny. He's 8 months now, and he's just so small compared. I mean, he used to fit in my forearm. He used to be smaller than my forearm, and now he's like as big as my torso. Just growing. So yeah, I've got that in there, and I wanted to so I put a little floor underneath, and I put a little walkway around that, fence it off, and that gives me my path down the side, the path coming up here. And I think to myself, right, well, what else do I need up here? And now I can see now I've put my roof up there. So that's where I'm going to build a little shack or a house, or there's going to be something, because I'm wanting to go up onto the top. Now I have noticed the rails, and I think to myself, well, can I put a shack bridge over there? Well, I can't really put a shack bridge over there, because if I put a shack bridge over there, the legs are going to be going down. They're going to be cutting off all the points of which I use to get over. This thing gets a little bit floaty up on the other side. So how can I do this? So I keep clicking through my shack bridges, and I see that one there, and that one always sinks in. So that's great. That's going to work fine. So I look for a spot in which it's going to look alright and reasonable. Yeah, and then I connect that to the next one. Oh. Now I did miss an opportunity there. I could have put it on a bit of a... Here we go. No, I didn't miss it. See, me looking back at this and watching this back with you is actually quite interesting for me, because I'm constantly thinking about the next thing. I actually forget what I've done, if you know what I mean. So now that I'm so far through, I haven't looked at this section for ages. I mean, I did this build video the night that we're actually watching here now. I did about 3 hours of recording in that time. So it was all in one go, this first 3 hours. And my leads caught. So yeah, and then I think, well, that shack bridge isn't going to look a little bit mental floating up at the top there. So instead of trying to lower the shack bridge, I think to myself, well, what I'll do is I'll actually build on top, and I can put this on a bit of an angle because of that. So I do that, and I throw that on the top there, and I think to myself, well, how big does this really want to be? Because in reality, the shack's built on top of the other shack, and that's how I'll get different angles on buildings as well. Instead of trying to use a pillar glitch and get them to drop into certain areas or sink into the actual the other items, I'll alternate them and put them at slight different heights. I mean, that thing there, that floor, let's see if we see a different height to the one below. It's got a little bit of an overhang. I'll deal with that later. But that, if I was to leave that like that without this thick wall I'm about to put on the outside, if I was to leave it as that short wall, that would have give that wall a different look, a different feel, without me having to worry about the glitch being the pillar glitch, or the rug glitch, in which I didn't have at the time. I did have the rug glitch, but a lot of the all the snapping stuff won't work on that. It won't work on the actual on stuff that snaps. So I wasn't able to use that. So I use a different technique to a lot of people that I've watched anyway on YouTube, and is that I use a lot more of snapping as being my friend. I don't worry about the glitches too much, because I don't really have that come into mind. Apart from, like, say for instance here, I was like, oh, how am I going to support this? I tell you what I could do. I could actually use one of these, which I've never used in any of my other builds. Sorry, I've never used the metal pieces. This is the first time, I think. I don't think even on this playthrough I've used any of the metal pieces, but I've got to think of other ways in which I can get stuff to look like it's supported up, held up. I mean, obviously I could have used a shack bridge, but I knew straight away I couldn't go for a shack bridge there, because you wouldn't be able to walk underneath it, and that is a main pathway, and I don't want to use my main pathways. So they're the rules I've kind of set myself. I can't use the pathways. I can't. I want the pathways to be clear so people can walk down them. I don't want to be covering them over, which I could have easily done, because when things are getting built on top of each other, it means I can't barnacle every build into the last build. I've got to spread them out. I've got to give them space around each other. It makes a settlement. Sorry, I feel it makes a settlement feel a little bit more alive. It's got all these pathways you can walk around. It's a little bit like a maze as well. Now that I'm running around decorating, I've got to run in every building to see that I've put decoration in there. I either have or I haven't, whether I need to decorate it up. And when I'm trying to get from each place, I'm running around and I'm just getting myself lost. I'm like, well, hold on, because also in SAR's video he put concrete walls within the castle blocking off each section, and I wanted to see if I could do that. I didn't have the concrete walls like he did, but could I do it with a wooden wall? That way, say for instance my pharmacy is inside, it's more of a sanitary area, but I didn't want to have passing traffic walking through there, and I did manage to get the wooden walls in. But having obviously them areas separate inside the castle, I need to be able to access every door. I wanted a bar area, so I've got that bar area. I haven't quite finished that area up yet because there's no building inside there. It's all decorating. Like I say, what you've got I've got recorded here, ran out of space on my PS4, but what I've actually got recorded here is the 4 build videos, which are of me building the actual settlement up, and then 2 decoration / build videos. So what we've got is you've got not doing any junk decoration, putting in things like working out what rooms are going to be and all that sort of stuff. And you can see how I just run in and I just go, right, this room's this, this room's this, this room's this. I'm going to shut down this, this and this, and this, this and this. And I try and use, as I'm running around, I'll see a bit's floating, so I'll drop in some cinder blocks, or I'll drop in some tyres, or I'll drop in some sandbags and some wire fencing. And I'll try and cover up them gaps once the settlement's built. So I'm not worrying about... Like here, I know I wanted that chain link fence, break up the textures a little bit, but what am I going to put up this wall here? Well, I could do the one with the back on for the military, one of these with the back on for the military, and I never use the one without the legs. And the reason I never use the one without the legs is because it just looks like it's stood up. Like, how is it stood up? It's got no legs, it's got nothing to support it, so how is it stood up? So I never ever use it. But here, I'm thinking, well, actually, I could use that as a wall. I could put the, I could put it up against the actual structure, maybe even sink it in a little bit there, and the wire mesh on the back, and it'll look like it could be propped or attached to the actual the pillars on the actual structure. So it actually fitted in there quite well, and it's another piece that I very rarely use, and I've decided to use here. Just gonna get a little drink. One moment.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. Nothing to report. Stay safe, people.
I also wanted to try and experiment with the metal pieces now. So this is coming from actually looking through. We've been looking through PT2 and PT3, playthrough 2 and playthrough 3, and I use a lot more of the metal pieces, these coloured pieces. There's a red rocket one I still haven't shown you, for instance, and on that one, with the red rocket being red, I use a lot of them reddy orange metal pieces. I also use them on an Abernathy farm in that has been released in thing, and the textures got a bit repetitive, and I had stopped using them, but I am looking at them again now, and I'm thinking to myself, well, can I use them in small doses? Can I put little bits here and there? Because there's no reason why there couldn't be coloured pieces of metal like that. There is no reason why we couldn't find them things around the Commonwealth, off containers and all that sort of thing, and then cut them down. But I decided, no, I want it more open. I want this settlement to look like, well, I want it to look like I want it to look like the outside is rammed together in contrast to the strong built castle that's round the side. And obviously we've got the broken down areas, and I want to try and put them contrast in there at this point. I'm not thinking I'm going to rebuild the wall. Now one section of the wall I do end up rebuilding. It's just because, again, because of that sinking issue, I couldn't sink anything in, and I do end up getting stuff built up all that side, and but by then it's buried, so you can see it from the outside. Obviously it's got that wall, but the inside it's completely covered up. It's completely covered up, building right up onto the top of the castle, which is what I wanted to do anyway, so it worked out quite well. Now so now I'm bouncing between the two. I'm bouncing between this one, and I'm trying to think, what am I going to use these extra space for? Obviously we've got him in there, and he's on his radio, so he wants a little area closed off in there. Maybe he'll put an extra desk, and I'll put some containers in there, and I can shot a little guard post over at the front is what I'm thinking at the moment. Shot a little guard post in there. But then what's this other side going to be? Well, you don't want anyone going in there, do we? We don't want anyone going in. So what I'm thinking is the little area that I've built on the side with the prefab. I'm thinking in there could be a little guard shack. In there can be a little guard place, whatever they're called. I want to call it a guard stand, but it's not a guard stand. Guard post, that's the one. Little guard post on the floor level in there. Wire fence across the front. Guard can stand in there, and he's protecting the radio. Got to protect the radio, because the radio is what's keeping us in contact with the other settlements. And if the castle, for instance, does come under attack, the radio is what we're going to use to get in the backup. So it's quite a valuable thing within the settlement. But then from that, again, straight away I bounce back up here, and I'm thinking, well, I've got to finish off up the top. I want to see it, and in my head I'm thinking, well, I want to see how it's going to work. How am I going to get up to the top? What do I need to remove? What do I need to put in? What do I need to? How am I wanted to get moving with the settlement. Obviously I'm seeing myself at this point. I remember thinking to myself, shit, I've been on this for like an hour now. I'm taking ages, and obviously I'm only on 32 minutes now, looking at the actual video. I think I've taken out the little bits where I'm sat in the wait. You know, you can sit on a sofa or whatever, and you press triangle and you wait for so many hours. I've tried to edit them out, but I haven't edited out any of the building. I haven't taken out any of the times when I'm taking a look around. I'm just going off the cuff, going how it flows for me, and that's how I like to build. Like I say, I'm used to feeling like I don't have that much time. I have a couple of hours a night where everyone's in bed, and I have a little run round, and I have a little build, and I don't want to wait till the next night to put ideas to the test to see if ideas are going to actually work. So I want to try and get them all done that night, so I kind of rush myself. I kind of panic a little bit. I don't think to myself, it's another night tomorrow. I can't help myself. I just want to, I'm like, oh well, if I do that, well, if I do that. Because if I don't rush myself, when I get to the end of the night, I can't come off. I can't come off because I'm like, well, no, I need to try this, and I need to try this, and I need to try this. Whereas in reality, I can try all them things the next night. My memory isn't that good. I'd probably only forget about them, but then other ideas would come, because that's just how I am. I just constantly thinking of things that I can do. So with this, then I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to do this front end? Obviously, I can't put anything to support anything in there, so I better put just a little flat wall on the front. I do try and mix up my walls and things like that. Sometimes I accidentally repeat them, but I do try and not repeat at all. I try and get them all, do them all things. So here I'm just using another little trick I saw of start to put a little square floor down on the floor, and then you put your railing on the floor. Remove the two floor pieces and put your thick wall back in, and this gives a railing to either side of the thick floor, because the railing itself won't actually attach. Now I don't end up using this, I do end up removing this and putting in a different, I think putting in the solid pieces. Obviously this is going to be someone's home, but I might be wrong, I might not, I can't remember. See, so I've got the railings. I was thinking that could be a little area, a little eating area out on the front side there. It's a little bit out the way, because it's away from that little door part, so they can have a little bit of relaxing area. So when the weather's good, they can sit there and have something to eat. And then up here, we're gonna have obviously the bed and some storage and stuff for the person who lives here. But I'll be leaving this again in a minute. Put a little rail in there, block off that. There we go, nice little home on the top. I haven't put any railings around. Do I shut that? Yeah, I do, yeah. So we... Whoop, having a problem with that, glitching to... well, throwing itself to the other side. There we go, that's where I want it. We don't need anything on that other one, do we? Yeah, might as well. There we go. I didn't think I was going to put anything there, but I obviously did. And we put our little fence around the outside. And we'll call this one done, I think, I believe, after we've got these railings round. For now, until the decorating phase, this one's done. We'll shot the beds and everything that we need in here once we come back to it. And I think we come back to this actually in the 5th or 6th episode. And we'll see this again. Oh, the sun's on a little crawl, give me a moment. Trying to make his way to the edge of the bed, get out of here. Now, did I try and put the stairs on the front? Yeah. I'll drop a crate in now. I'm going to change the step up with a crate. Is that going to work? It's a little bit over it now. I think it is. That little wooden piece didn't let it work, did it? Should have left the wooden piece off. I think I should replace it, put that back on and put some steps back on, but actually I quite like that. I don't know whether I might go change this back to this tonight. Oh no, is that how it is? Please tell me I leave it like that. Do I leave it like that? Yeah, go on mate. Oh, actually I can't remember. I can't remember whether I leave it like that or I change it back for steps. Because my steps wouldn't click to the door. Well, my son just trying to crawl off the bed. I didn't see whether I actually tried the steps yet or not. He's in a box. He is. He's in a box. Fair enough. It's keeping him quiet. I'm not complaining. So, am I going to jump down and forget about this? No, I'm not. I'm going to put the square flat top piece on there, I think. Yeah, put the square flat top piece on there, which gives me an extra flat surface which I can shot this on the top, and I can put my guard post in there when I get round to it. I don't know if I do that straight away.
Keep it tuned here for updates.
And because it's going to be a guard post, do a little trick, put the little squares in, a little quarter piece, put them in there, put the rail up on the side of that. And then we move them. And then we put this here. Here we go. And I think we're moving on to the second part now. I think we go across the other side where the steps are coming down there. I think we move over there and we start over on that area then. In just a moment. I think I might take this out and put a ceiling on. Do I? What do I do here? Do I give this part a roof? I can't remember. Cannot remember. Try and get the railings in there. Again, just have a little look, see if that's because obviously what you get is one side has a bigger box stopping it getting closer to the object. So I have a little spin round, turn it around, see how close I can get it actually to that roof piece. Hindsight, could have used the ashtray to move that over there and get it closer to that ceiling, but to that roof. But again, I just don't think about it. I just don't think about using them pieces. About using them glitches, the stairs and the pillar. I just don't think about it. I've done so long, I've done so much building without it that it doesn't occur to me till after I've struggled my way through and managed to get something to fit and something to work, and then I think to myself, I should have used that glitch on that one. It would have been twice as fast to get it done. So I'm starting now to get my initial structure done. I'm starting to get a start of what I want, and I'm starting to realise to myself, oh bless him, he tried to stand up in the box and the side of the box collapsed. He's alright. I think he just had a little shock. So we've yeah, so I am going to put a roof on here. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to put a ceiling down there, and then I'm going to put a, yeah, that's what I thought I ended up with. So there was a little roof, and I think that actually came from the fact that it's actually raining in the game. I was thinking to myself, wow, no, the guards will want a little roof on there. So I dropped that down there. That came out. That actually worked like a rug there. And I should really have a little look. If you put a, I suppose it's a bit big. I was going to say, if you put a, say for instance a shop on them shack bridges, put the shack bridge in, use that as the rug. But it's too big for it. It's too big to put the, then put the shop into anything using it. It's to be too big. The reason the rug's good for it is because the rug's small. So I was thinking, but what I was thinking is, if it had the drop and it's already raised up on that floor, would the drop just take it to the floor rather than dropping it too far? But I think, I mean, I'll have a little look into it, but I think that'll be too big for you actually to utilise it in any reasonable capacity. What? I think she's laughing at the fact that I said reasonable capacity. I think she's laughing at that because I wouldn't normally say that. These big words just coming into my head every now and again. You know, they just get shown out there. Obviously it's something I said because I said it. With all these big words. So I put my little walls back in. And now I think now I move over to the other side. I'm moving on to the bigger. What I've realised is above the little house that I've built there, that's on top of the workshop, I've got them railings across there. And I don't really want to delete them railings. I don't want to remove them. They're unique to this settlement. I don't have them in any of my build menus, so I won't be able to replace them. I don't want to remove them. So I'm thinking, right, well, that's how tall that's going to be. And I'm thinking to myself, I haven't got... Sorry, I just hit my mic there if you heard that. I got the... What I want to do is I want to build it going up, so I'm thinking I've got 2 here, and then I'll have 1 level up on the top. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, but I want them all connected and linked through each other. Now the best place in which I actually do that is in, well, actually the best place for the look of actually going up on an angle, looking like each shack's built slightly above and slightly back from the rest, going up. I just hit my mic again. I'm sorry, I'm swinging my glasses around like a madman. It should be on my head. And so the best place for that is there. That's the place that I've done that the best. Going up in levels. There isn't that much to it. It's a lot of pathways, a lot of little walkways and stairs going up and twisting the different little shacks that I've got going up. But it worked quite well. It turned out quite good, and it actually turned out like that because of how awkward the bricks were underneath. So I had to go up with the rocks, but also cover where anything was floating underneath. And you'll see that in the, I think it's the next video that I start taking a crack at that. Yeah, it might be the next video or the video after that, but we'll soon see. So I've gone around here, I've moved my power out the way a little bit. I need to get my sofa and that moved as well. And we might see where it goes when I've oh, that could have been the change. I can't remember. There was either way, we didn't see it. Is that it? Yeah, that's it there. So I've sat down, and when I've sat down, that was the last time it saved. And I went and I built this section, differently to how it actually ends up. But I built this section up, and then my game crashed, and the game crashed, and it deleted all that. I didn't have any of it saved, so that's why then when I've come back on, I've had to restart it. But from this point, so I have already kind of had a look at this. I started from over the other side the last time, but it didn't come over and match this door properly, which I just left in. And it was when I was putting this piece down that the game actually crashed. So I do know this will come in and it'll fit into that doorway like that, and we can pull it into the right place. A nice little reinforcement on the front gate. I do want to build the reinforcement out on the front, however none of these build videos will show it. I also want to build a marina sort of area down on the front. It's not going to be nothing big, and I didn't know this until actually last night. Last night I put in a I was doing some decorating without recording. I was doing some decorating and I put some I thought to myself, you know what, down there's a big empty space. I never use the stuff around the side of the castle. I wouldn't mind doing it, and I'm hoping it's not going to start glitching out, because it'll have to be something that I don't do down on that side. But I'm thinking I'm putting a jetty or sort of marina, so Spectacle Island could be in trade and contact with Spectacle Island. I like the idea of Spectacle Island being a bit of a retreat. It's that one built out onto the water. It's a little bit out the way. It looks after the so people who have been injured or whatever can go over there, and they can have some time off or whatever. It's like a holiday resort for the Minutemen, built by the Minutemen for the Minutemen. Over on that side, he's got his little cute giggle going. And that's over on Spectacle Island, so they'll need a boat to get over there, and I think they could do that from the protected castle. We could have a nice walk going over there and dealing with the people. Now we did a big Spectacle Island. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tour it because it's that big, and when I'm just talking utter nonsense. Like, everything seems to be the same. It's a lot of farmhouses, and then there's a main town, and there's a secondary little town, and the main town is like a big like resort sort of thing. It's not got all arcades and all that sort of stuff, but there's lots of shops there. The shops are big. Nothing's really decorated. My mate, what are you giggling at? What are you giggling at? We're 47 minutes in. I can't even stop recording now. I can't talk this other 47 minutes all over again. We've got you on the camera going. You crazy. He's just looking at me as if I'm mental. He's looking at me like as if to say, yeah, and what? And what? Eh? So yeah, I'm starting to throw things up on this other side. I've completely lost the train of thought. Oh yeah, Spectacle Island. So it was a bit of a resort. And then on the other side you have where the settlers can go, so they have like their own little town, a few small little shops and a little armoury and their little things. And then there's all over the island, there's like guard towers and everything. And I wanted to kind of look like they were kind of reclaiming that area. They were turning that into a safe place where people could be. They didn't need walls, they didn't need loads of guns and turrets. They have people who are guarding, they have a few turrets here and there, and then and the place is protected by the natural protection in which is the sea. Now they do get the Mirelurks and things like that, but we have that speaker that stops the Mirelurks attacking. Whoever invented that and dropped that off, they did a brilliant job of it, because as soon as you turn it on, all the Mirelurks and that disappear. They all get running. So it protects the island. The island is looked after, and the few Minutemen are there. They can protect the place as well. So I'm looking at this, and I want over the front door, I want a guard tower. So I'm shotting one of these in, put the guard post inside there. I always forget what they're called, guard. I want to call them guard stations all the time. They're not, the guard post. And then the fucking weird ass noise. But again, I'm at 9 minutes in now, so I ain't recording that weird noise from stay in there. So again, I'm thinking, oh, what I did over there is I dropped some steel, and can I drop it now? I didn't know that these metal pieces, these steel grey metal pieces, they're actually wider than the red ones. Not by much either, by about the width of one column. I don't get why. So we grab a red one, we drop that in, we can walk straight underneath that, and it does look supported, so that's going to be pretty strong. We've got a nice big ship over near the Norwegian people are on it, over near Warwick. So we can go over there, we can get some of the steel, cut all that out of there. They're long gone. Sorry if you just heard me coughing on the camera. So I'm thinking, right, I want this here. I'm going to build up onto the top. I've got the stuff at the side. Because of the snap, I've been able to drop the... can you see there? So I've sunk that into the actual ground, that... what's it called? The wooden foundation piece there that was just highlighted. I managed to drop that into the floor, and then from that I could snap over into them stones, but actually placing something in them stones and trying to sink it. Even the steps, they just went red instantly. I was having a problem with that. And I discovered that the last time I was playing through, so I thought, right, okay, I'll just start from this point and I'll build out from here. My son's now having a little roll around. Come on here, mate. Come on here, we're nearly there, we're at 51 minutes. So I put this here, it's got a little door opening. I'm thinking, right, am I going to put a little what's it called there, a little guard station there? And I'm thinking, no, mate, don't grab the mic, don't grab the mic, my mate. So I'm saying, no, I don't want it that close to the. You can't take these off my head, mate. The Here you go. Here. There we go. There, good boy. So I'm thinking, alright, okay, I'll move my guard post over, I'll move it over a little bit. How am I going to actually do it so it doesn't sit out into the path though? How am I going to do that? So what I'll do is, I'll put on my, these little square pieces. So I'll put a main foundation piece on the floor. I should. Or am I changing the angle on it here? Might be changing the angle on it here. Yes. There we go. So what I've done is I put a big square piece on the floor. Big foundation piece. Not foundation. Big square floor. I put that on the floor, and then I put another one snapped to it. Off the original piece that was down against the wall, I snap then another prefab coming over the top of the other floor, and I use the underfloor that's now underneath to actually then snap two little square pieces off. Then use this to snap to that. That creates that curve that I wanted. That creates it to flow with the path. But I've done it using snapping rather than using a glitch, and that's something a little bit different in which in the way I do it, over the way I see other people doing it. I'll use the snap. So I'll place something and then snap something to it to make that second piece go where I want it. And that's what I tend to do. So again, if you take a little look back and you see what I did, you'll be able to see it quite more clearly than the way I describe it. But all I really do is I put an original piece in. The original piece that's against the wall, for instance. In this, the example is what I've just done there. So I put the piece against the wall. This is a prefab piece. I then put a square floor piece, a bit large floor piece, and I put that just outside where I want the actual piece to go. Then I snap my square floor piece to that, going closer to the so it's that sitting where I want the curve. I then take the first floor out that I'd put, and I snap another another prefab piece to the existing prefab piece, and that covers up the new floor that's on the floor. But the snap points remain, and that's the main part. From that snap point, I then can snap to it with another foundation piece, another floor piece, whatever I decide to use, I can snap to that, bring that, force that piece round without having to individually place it and worry about the snap. Say for instance, if I was just trying to move it up to it and it was going to snap to that original, it would have snapped over and not allowed me to put the angle in. Now again, that can be used with it can be done instead of using the pillar glitch or using the rug glitch, whichever one you were using for the instance, whether the piece snaps or not. But I don't think about it that way. That's the way I do it. I grab something and I'll snap to that. And again, with my Spectacle Island build that's on this one is the one that I did for Sardeliak's challenge. In that, I was originally doing a house. I was originally doing a single player home on the sea. And I thought to myself, right, no, actually, I'm going to build, this is going to look way better, because at the moment it's just a square structure with a second floor built in the middle of some water. It doesn't look like anything. It doesn't have anything interesting about it. So instead of changing that square structure in the middle, I angled and everything, just foundation pieces, and I dotted them around it. Right, I'll put a little hut there, I'll put a defence there, I'll put some a shop there, I'll put this there, and I put them all at different angles all the way around it, bridged them all together. Once I bridged them all together, I put a load of stuff around it, snapped around it, so the snapping points were gone, and I got prefab structures, and I put them on top. And by putting them on top, I can put them on whatever angle I want, and that way, when you're looking at it from a distance, which is the only way you can see the whole settlement anyway, when I'm looking at it from a distance, it looks different, it looks unique, it looks like all the different places. But really, they're all just square structures around each other. But when you're looking at it from a distance, you see them all, and they look like they've been put in different areas, they've been put in different angles. And that's kind of what I'm going for with this one. Although, yes, it will be a lot of square structures, the structures themselves aren't actually bent or anything like that. The stuff around them is, and the stuff around them gives the illusion that they are as well. Like, although the structure at the bottom is square and the structure at the top is square on the, say for instance, the workshop, big rectangle, the house on top, smaller rectangle, but I put them at different angles, and them different angles break it up, so I don't have to worry about trying to force things through each other. If I do force things through each other, I use the snap. I can put put whatever I want, put something next to it, and use the snap off that object to go into the next one. Sorry if I'm not explaining that very clearly. I will try and look into it in the other episodes. At the moment, we've only got a couple of minutes left. We're at 7 minutes and 38 seconds. It's only 59 minutes and 50 seconds long. So we're running up to the end now. The next episode I'll be doing more building. The building will start getting faster because now I'm starting to get a lot of different I'm starting to get more of a feel of how the ground layout's going to be, and from that then I can start going a little bit crazy and can start throwing things at it. Not got a lot done, I don't feel like, in this hour for how much I would normally get done. But you'll see that over the next 3 episodes I'll have this place completely built out. But at the moment I'm trying to see how I'm going to get things. I don't normally have the restriction of, say, things like the paths that I've given myself on this one. And I do want to do bridges over, so I'm trying to have them so that they're on reasonable heights and distances from each other, so I can have little bridges and little things going over the top of each one. Well, thank you for watching this one with me, guys. If you've made it to the end, well done, because I've just been talking nonsense, it feels like, for the past 59 minutes. But this has been my first Let's Build, and we're here at the castle. I will be doing the rest of them. We've got the, like I say, another 5 to go, and then after that I will do a tour. If anyone's just interested in the tour, that'll be up, and we'll see. It's going to take me a few days to get the next one of these actually recorded. Although the footage is recorded, I now have to sit for an hour and talk over the top like I have now, and I think I might go mental if I try to do it straight after this one. Also, need to give the family a little bit of attention as well. But thank you for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe, help me grow the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And hopefully guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.